Your blonde bombshell here with you with a wonderful book review on The Restless Rancher from Jennifer Ryan. Now I'm going to tell you what it's about, then I'm going to read the pages that affected me, and then I will give you a rating on this book. Meet the women of the Wild Rose Ranch and the men who want to tame them in the New York Times bestseller author Jennifer Ryan's breathtaking series of romance and scandal. 1 minute, down on his luck, rancher Austin Hubbard was sleeping soundly. The next, a sassy spitfire dumped a pitcher of water on his head and woke him up in more ways than one. Hired to help him rebuild his ranch, Sonia Tucker ends up helping him put the tattered pieces of his life back together. The capable all-business accountant is on a mission to get the ranch up and running, but he can convince the temptingly beautiful woman to take a chance on him. Sonia was dismayed that Austin had lost it all. Money, family, respectability, things who'd been raised by her mother at Nevada's notorious brothel Wild Rose Ranch only dreamed about. But working with the long, lean cowboy shows her that Austin is honorable to his core. Together they slowly grow to see that love between them might bring. But then Austin's powder keg of a family feud explodes, exposing long-buried secrets and threatening their newfound love. Okay. Well, we're going to start this book at page... It took me a while to get into this one. I mean, I'm not one of these that I like the mystery and all that. I like the simple, straight A to B romance. You know, they fall in love, they can't get along, they have an argument, kind of like Hallmark Channel movie. But then they get back together. This one was a roller coaster ride of emotions. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about these emotions right now, starting on page 28. I think actually it's going to start on 27 and then go to 28. But here my computer's giving me a problem, as computers often do. Okay, 27. For the first time in a long time, he let himself believe that everything would be different now. He didn't need to drink away the pain because he had a purpose and a goal that he could actually achieve. He could make a go of this place. He could prove his father wrong. We're going to move on. If I don't drop the book. Page 40. We're making progress. Keep at it. Just like every other daunting task in her life, that's all she could do. One step at a time until the job was done. But like every other time, in the back of her mind, she wondered, what happened next? Where was life headed? With every achievement, was she moving closer to what she really wanted, or simply going through the motions because she didn't know where she really fit or belonged? Moving on. Page 71. He slipped his hand over the side of her neck, his fingers deep in her hair, caressing her skin. You listening, you understanding, the compassion you show and how you do this job, and that treat me falls outside the job. I appreciate it more than you know. He leaned in, she held her breath, and he kissed her softly on the forehead. He stared down at her, his thumb softly brushing over her cheek. Thank you for being here. And that's all I'm going to share on that, because I want you to read why he was being so emotional. I'm going to move on to page 88. But under that slight frame, a core strength and steely determination kept her composed and ready to take on anything, even a call that made her cry but not fall apart. She held it all together for her mother, who obviously counted on Sonia to take care of her. But who took care of Sonia? She'd run home to put the pieces back together for her mother, but who ran to Sonia's side when she needed someone? It had to be Roxy, her other sisters, but they couldn't do it full time. She'd been by his side through this whole process, sorting out his house and cleaning up his life. She comforted him when the guilt was taking over little things over letting things get this bad for his granddad became too much to bear, and when they found his mother's letter, she stood there up against his father. They shared a moment right before she got that call. For a second, she let her guard down and almost welcomed him in. Okay, page 96. If he hadn't, I might not have met you. Sonia leaned back and stared at him. I don't know. Roxy still would have moved here. I'd come to visit. You're Noah's best friend. Eventually we would have met. But would I have gotten to know you the way I've been working here with you? Would I have seen the way you issue orders like a drill sergeant? Would I know that you make lists for everything? Maybe you'd still laugh with me, but would we have gotten this close this fast because of all the memories I've shared with you? All the rough stuff, raw stuff you've seen me go through here. Would you have seen the real me you saw when I lost it over this place, or when I found my mother's letter? What blah, 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 blah. Would I have let you see deeper, or simply tried to impress you with only what I wanted you to see? He didn't think so. The attraction had been there from the start, despite how hard we both tried to ignore it. We both have a job to do. I'm connected to Roxy. You know you're connected to her because of the partnership, but also because she's your best friend's girlfriend. That complicates things. He agreed. No, but it doesn't make it impossible. No, but it does mean that we go in with our eyes wide open and understand that things could get messy if this ends badly. And then we go to page 117. Sonia put her hands on Roxy's waist and set her away so she could look at her in the eye. I know you're worried. We've talked about your concerns before I ever met Austin. But then I did meet him. I see how much he loves this place and how dedicated he is to making something out of it. And himself. His father tried to destroy him over the stupid piece of land, but Austin sees the chance, and he's been giving it as a means to start over again and do it right. I'm not worried about whether or not he can make that place profitable. She pointed a finger. You shouldn't be either. He's got experience of working his family ranch and minding the business. When it's all taken away, yes, he didn't know how to handle it or what to do when he sank all his money into keeping this place, but that stubborn streak of his won't allow him to fail, now that he's got the means to make a go of the ranch. Roxy squeezed Sonia's arm. And what about the two of you? As I understand it, his last relationship fell apart when his father kicked him out, and his indiscriminately played the field since. How much of that had to do with his drinking? Aside from having a beer or two with the dinner after he put in a 12-hour day, I haven't seen him overindulge. I don't particularly care what happened with those other women. I've seen the change in him from the man you described to me to the person I've seen him to be with me. He treated me with respect and kindness and shown his appreciation for my help. He didn't take advantage of my attraction to him. He recognized, like I did, that there's something there worth exploring, and we decided, because there is a lot to stake, that to take things slow and to get to know each other. That's not a guy who out to take what he wants. That's a man who knows what he wants and is patient enough to work hard to get it, because the prize is worth the effort. She was worth the effort. No one had ever made her feel that way, and she didn't know what to do with all that feels that burst from her heart, knowing that. Okay. We're going to move on. Next paperclip, which is the big old envelope, that cute little envelope, I think, right? Yeah. Where's it at? 164. His chest vibrated against hers with his laugh. My mom used to say that you can be happy or right. I think in order for her to be happy, she let my father be right even when he wasn't. He's so used to getting what he wants, he can't take it, and that I keep saying no. You want to be right too. Are you trying to start another fight? She leaned back and tipped her head up to look at him. No, I get why you hold onto that land and what it means to you. I don't understand your father's compulsion to get it from you. Maybe it ties to my mother's letter and whatever he stole. Sonia's gaze thoughtful. What did she and your grandfather want to tell you? Sonia? She turned around and seen her own mother, though Austin didn't let her go. Hi, Mama, there's someone I'd like you to meet. And then we go on. Page 244. Now, why did I mark this? I hate it when I don't know why I marked the page, and then I'm like having to read back really quick to see why I marked it. Okay, his ex-girlfriend is helping them get closer to the reason why her father, not her father, his father, wants the land. Now, there's a story there. Kelly, which is the ex-girlfriend to Austin, cheats on Austin with Austin's dad. It's gross and it's disgusting. And so on page 244, he thought that Sonia might be questioning feelings towards Kelly, and he has no feelings for her other than knowing that he's got to treat her with respect because she's now with his father. So here we go. In fact, his feelings for Sonia grew each and every day. In other relationships, his feelings were always something that he put off to think about later, but with Sonia, the question of how he felt and how much he stayed front and center, it kept popping up in his mind, making him take notice and think about it, what it meant, how it impacted his future, what he wanted for the future, and ever present was the need to make her happy so she'd stay with him. Because all those thoughts about his future included her. Every decision he made now, he thought about her and asked her to weigh in on the decision. Austin, yeah, I lost you. What were you thinking about? You, always you. I wasn't thinking I wasn't the right man for Kelly. She wasn't the right woman for me. You and me, we just fit. At least that's how I feel. She placed a hand on his chest and said, I feel that way too. So we're going to move on. I hope I marked. They have this tremendous fight. And it's not really a fight. It's a misunderstanding. And he comes after her. And I hope I marked that in this book, but I don't know if I did or not. If I didn't, you got to read it. It's just amazing. Okay. I pulled this record too. There's an attachment at the original I didn't get at the courthouse. Austin read the contract and swore, this is what my father stole. I don't get it. The land was given to your mother and your father. Why did they need a contract? Because my grandfather retained the mineral rights on the land for me. He pointed to the contract. Alan Jones, owner in the event of the death, divided equally by all children born to Annie Jones Hubbard. He never left the mineral rights to your mother. He always meant them to go to you. That's because he didn't trust my father, and that proved right when my father started mining and kept the money. So you actually own all the sapphires in the blue mining found and sold. I don't think I marked that, which is sad because I wanted you guys to hear it. Anyway, Austin pointed to another contract. This is a 5-year lease. I own everything. He dug up after the lease expired. Your grandfather wanted to give you your father and your mother a good start, just like your father got when he found the first sapphire. He thought your father would find enough gems to give them a good life. But my father wasn't satisfied with enough money to make sure they'd never want for anything. He kept digging, he kept taking. Your grandfather wanted the mineral rights to go to your mother's children so they could do the same thing. A pull from the land is what they needed. A legacy that would spread across generations. I can't talk tonight. I'm so sorry. A legacy that would spread across generations. I see now that what my grandfather was trying to tell me. He used to say wanting more than you need can lead to a man's ruin. Okay, we move on. Austin sat on the couch and gazed at the fireplace in front of him. But his mind was a million miles away. Sonia fell into his lap and tried not to spill the double whiskey in her hands. She gave him one and clinked a glass to us. They both took a sip of the smooth 21-year-old scotch that they picked up on the way home, or this time because soon Austin would never have to worry about money again. She was so proud of him for standing up to his father and for himself, even though it was hard. Walter was, after all, his father, but they deserved to celebrate their engagement. Austin smiled up at her. You said yes. She slipped her hand behind his neck and combed her fingers into his hair. And I meant it. I hope that I can't even talk. I should just stop. Anyway, I meant it, and I hope you're sure, because I'm a yes forever kind of woman. Exactly. That's why it is so easy to make the decision to ask, because you're the kind of woman I want. One who loves with all her whole heart, one who sees flaws and potential, the kind of woman who works hard for what she wants, even harder for the people she cares about. You don't back down, you don't give up, and you stick. She brushed her fingers through his hair against his scalp, soothing him. I know how it feels when everyone in your life let you down. I can't promise we won't have our ups and downs, but as long as you want me to be your wife, I'll never leave you, Austin. And we move on. The last paperclip. So you guys didn't get to read the fight. Read the fight. Let me tell you, it's actually a misunderstanding, but it's still a great misunderstanding. And the way he comes after her, that's a man, not a boy. Just saying. Page 343. I thought about taking you on a trip, getting away from here for some fun and sun, so I did what I could do and what I promised. But then I thought about how we met and how much things have changed, and decided this was the spot for the swing for me to do this. He held a ring up between them. I met you right here on this porch. Best thing that ever happened to me was a water bucket wake-up call from an angel who saved my life and gave me a purpose. I want to spend the rest of my life loving you. Sonia brushed her hand over the side of his head, her fingers raking through his hair. I had nothing when you met me. Now I have everything I need because I have you in my life. I feel the same way. And that's where I'm going to leave you. I'm giving this book a 7.5. I can't give it more than that. I just feel like it's missing something. It was too long, too drawn out. And the best part of the book was the misunderstanding, where he was a man and he came right after her, and he was not going to give up until he spoke with her and even apologized to her mom, even though her mom had no idea what the misunderstanding was about. He was out to prove that he had made a mistake, and they wanted to overcome it as a couple. And so that part really impressed me. 7.5. It's not bad. It's kind of middle of the road. 7.5. I'm anxious to read the next book in the series, which I think is due out. Let me see here. I want to get it right. I don't want to tell you wrong. And it's called Tough Talking Cowboy. And it kind of leads into it at the very end. I don't want to ruin the ending for you, so you want to check it out. But it says spring of 2020 will be the next book out in this series, if you will. So check this out. It gets 7.50 stars. 7.5, 7.50. You understand what I'm saying. And stay tuned. I'm going to do a little bit of a talking, maybe singing video next. I don't know. I like to keep you on the edge of your seat. I had to put on the special occasion glasses just to read this and share this book occasion with you. I have started another book, and you'll see what that book is next.